Good evening and welcome to Tok Piksa. The threat of global warming and climate change has left many challenges for island communities around Papua New Guinea. Despite the government setting up the Climate Change Office and other entities to address and combat climate change, there has been little progress made, and even that has been at a very slow pace. Tonight we visit a small island in Manus that has initiated a rice farming project. It's a project which they believe will address climate change, strengthen food security, and promote rice as a local industry. Reporter Jack Lepauve Jr. traveled to Low Island in Manus Province to capture why the islanders believe that farming rice is a way forward amidst the many challenges that climate change has brought to their doorsteps.
Low Island is less than 2 hours travel by boat from the Manus provincial capital, Lorengau. Traveling by dinghy is the only mode of transportation for the locals on Low Island. They risk the journey to access services, especially to buy store goods and sell the garden produce in town. It has been an expensive exercise for the Low people and other outer islands of Manus, as high cost of fuel and other rise in prices of goods remains a constant challenge for the people, most of whom depend on fishing and gardening. Relatively, an average family does not earn more than 1,500 kina in 2 weeks of labor, but that has been the challenge in life. Low is totally different from other islands in Manus. It is richly blessed with high soil fertility composition due to volcanic activity on the island in the 1950s. The volcanic eruption displaced communities but has left many blessings for the islanders. Black volcanic stone islands, wildfowl sites and breathtaking scenery. Thus there is plenty of food variety on the island with almost every fruit, nut and local vegetable growing there.
Tapioca, cacao, banana. We produce peanuts here. We produce cacao here. We produce too many bananas that we produce in this island.
This has pushed the islanders to introduce rice farming, not necessarily a new concept, but has significance to the diet of almost all Papua New Guineans. And like many other modern societies in PNG, the use of rice is now commonly used in customary or tradition ceremonies like deaths or marriages. And that has no difference for most communities in Manus. Generally, rice is now an important food source in Papua New Guinea. But the rice story for Low Islanders began when 12 chosen farmers around Manus Province went for an extensive rice farming training at the Japanese Oiska Institution in Rabaul, East New Britain in 2011. An effort by former Manus MP Joe Pomat and the Joint District Budget Priority Committee, who wanted Manus people to tap into the world of rice farming. Now the investment has achieved a small but significant result, with one of the attendees putting into practice the cultivation of rice on Low Island. Benjamin Pokarup, a former councillor from Bound Village and now the initiator of the Admiralty Islands Smallholder Rice Project, began the concept by planting 800 grams of rice seedlings on this very location, which is now being turned into a soccer field for the community. Pokarup is serious about this business of farming rice and has encouraged other villages through training and relaying of the knowledge he acquired in East New Britain. These have also seen helping hands from Japanese instructors from Oiska visiting Low and helping to improve knowledge of local farmers.
800 grams of mountain apple was brought onto Low Island from Oiska, an institution, Ecotech Institution, Low, East New Britain.
This has also received great support, with farmers putting their heads together to form the legal business entity, the Admiralty Islands Rice Cooperative Society. A few meters away from his home, Benjamin has a rice patch. He says rice is now part of his life, including his family. He says planting a variety is as vital, with his aim of engaging a first batch of 200 farmers on the island as a pilot project.
Time Mipla Salim cropping calendar all throughout Manus for uniform planting, the uniform harvest, dating February 26th of 2015. This la plot mi show him what we actually told the farmers to do, and that the harvest will be at the end of this month on the 31st of June 2015.
This can be seen with the rice growing and producing quality grain for harvest, thus encouraging more islanders to plant rice. Farming and growing rice is exceptionally a new practice on Low Island, but most islanders are now mastering the art of planting rice. A variety of rice is now planted, and seed distribution amongst farmers is crucial in expanding this initiative.
Seed production is an issue now in the province. Therefore, Admiralty Island Smallholder Rice Project is working very hard on this area, that Mipla must produce him seeds enough, lo distribute him, because for the last 2 years time Mipla work, we have been distributing seeds to farmers on the mainland, na on other islands, we only got potential of planting rice.
Rice is no ordinary crop where you plant and wait for its harvest. Visiting your rice beds is a must for those involved in farming the grain. Every step from seedbed nursery to harvest is important for farmers to reap a good harvest.
It is very, very important that you establish a nursery bed below you. Now, the soil must be this thick, the strain soil must be this thick, so that then we give him enough nutrients long nursery bed. So when you're actually planting, you just go like this and get 3 of it like this, put them together, and you are ready to dump it into the prepared holes.
Job Muli is another farmer who thinks rice can be an optional food crop source and an income-driven base for the islanders. Both Job and Benjamin have also gone a step further by sending their daughters to the Japanese Oyster Institution in East New Britain for more training and help Low Islanders and Manus people to plant rice and embrace its significance.
Tubla Meria Tubla result to Blodisla institution. That is the reason why I am acknowledging the East New Britain provincial government for having such an institution, and initiators long up to we only got good plating thing. No only work in this institution, lo work long agriculture activities. Na I come up in result where Mipla sampla time Mipla works in this training program, Mipla put him to apply him to come on place Mipla for food security and the low income that situation Manus is at the moment.
For some who never got the chance to farm for themselves, having a taste of the local product and being part of the rice story will always be remembered in their life.
Rice, first time we have been Kambala in Mandavia. And when you see me go cooking, namanya like sweet. Na no good pula. Get yel bimi pula long time bolong angkare. Store bolong rice ikan sa pula or siya.
Welcome back to Tok Piksa. We continue the rice story on Low Island in Manus Province. In our next segment tonight, model rice farmer Benjamin Pokarup receives support from the Balopa local level government and spreads the rice growing initiative to the village of Ray, a village with over 300 people and little to no economic sustainability projects over the past 15 years. Ray farmers are determined to produce high-quality rice and educate the younger generation the basics of rice farming.
A journey to the other side of the island, we visit Ray village, the biggest village in the Balopa LLG. Ray has been the main target for farmer Pokarup since the bulk of low population hails from here. But it's not that easy for villagers to master the concept of planting rice. The help of the local level government through trainings has helped a lot for people to realize that rice can be a working solution both economically and for sustainability.
I'd like to thank you that government, Balopa local level government, and we've been sponsoring 10,000 kina. Lo holding this training program right here, where we are. Lo facilitate for 4 days.
After weeks of training, the interest was enormous, with villagers cultivating rice and seeing the difference with taste and its quality. Samson Wak, a leading model farmer, says the crop has made differences and most villagers are keen to extend the project.
We've been producing 99 kilogram na miblay milling pinis na miblay kai na tastes good, na good pla.
Farmer Wak says rice planting has seen huge turnout in harvest, but farmers need resources for milling purposes.
Mibla like him alibim by mas come upstairs long community where mibla need him machine lo by mas milling na by help him mibla lo kamabimol project where he come long community.
Ray has over 55 interested farmers who all are working together to improve living conditions through farming rice. But it's not only men who are taking lead. Women are also heavily involved in planting rice.
We plant it. That's all because we work hard, lo planting rice. Na mi kam stand lo here.
Angeline says the local grown product is just perfect for consumption with consumers' choice.
I'm nice.
There's lime. I cook finish. Then I was blowing them oxen farm. In a chicken, in a fish, oxen farm. You can't want them oxen farm. Best. Thank you.
For Low Islanders, the culture of planting rice is slowly creeping into all levels of the community. From the elderly to the young, school children is now the next target for rice farmers. The concept is now being part of the curriculum in one of the local primary schools. It's a new setting to teach students the basics of planting rice. Head teacher Dale Cover is hopeful this will go a long way for this generation of Low Islanders.
It is very important in a primary school setting like this that we should teach our kids how to plant rice, because I think 80% of the population eat rice. And for them to learn how to plant rice is a bonus to the school, because one day they will not run to the shops to buy rice, but they can plant their own rice and eat it in their own garden.
Mr. Carver says for Pisik Primary School, it's not a mistake introducing farming rice to the students. He says the upper primary is taking the lead while the lower primary will follow soon. He wants students to see this as a project students can fall back after completing the education.
It's part of their learning. When they go back home, if they don't make it to college or university, they can make their own garden at home. And rice is one of the projects that we are privileged to teach them how to plant. And if they go back home, they can plant their own rice one day.
But it's not only Low Islanders who are interested in making rice a successful food crop in Manus. The community in Laos on the mainland is also on the move to embrace the concept of farming rice. It has been the talk in all community gatherings to venture into any project and address problems faced, including climate change. Laos is a coastal community on the edge of losing a big portion of its land because of the rise in sea level. A major concern for this community is also food security. Thus, introducing rice farming to Laos people takes courage, and farmer Benjamin Pokaru boldly tells those interested.
What a place, good plan, or you got poverty inside Longan. Sak tete walk logo down. Kau no low walk logo down. Tapio kami walk lo kama prop to sol.
For the Laos people, making a breakthrough to create and help community initiatives such as rice has been a long overdue process to withstand social and economic responsibilities for each household.
People have a rice. Kaya po place talongan. Money po two talongan. Kami organize him all group long be. O the Mary, o the Manus all staff now. Kami place talo plant him rice.
The importance of farming rice by Laos people has made them active members of the Admiralty Island Smallholder Project. Chairman Somolo says the harvest was remarkable, which gives confidence to farmers.
Na time we play harvesting, rice me play gisim 120 kilo rice. Milled rice. Na display give me big plum mushroom.
Prioritizing rice farming for Laos people is not about eating rice every day, but the community is also seeing an increase in its population. Village elders are encouraging families to tap into this project. Pokop Nura A. Lapan of village elders says Laos is too small to handle challenges in climate change, food security and the increase in population. Pokop's concern was a thought he battled inside himself over the years until he heard of the concept of farming rice.
Milugong climate change wala pakaraming nambis. Na lapon all talk normal, tasol inon normal. Ang issue of climate change yana, because him sea level rise na 1/3 long lowest mass area land mass. Am stopping by going inside the solwara within 20 years wala ka.
Pokop says if there is no intervention by government authorities to save communities in Manus, such initiative is the way forward.
It's a must. You must go inside. Suppose sila kalau money, I'm alright. Pianol pa nimrot longan na yumi. Export him, I'm start inside long all big man. Na suppose ilak stablo place too. Still I'm alright. Because sesalaya. Emblong, kaya iblong all beginning nilo. All same na. Me yet personally, me hamamasi no karna larot, emom larot tasol. Pa you go inside, you me venture go inside long. Rice project blow me so that one way or another, you can bring him help him inside the community. Now I'll beginning blow me.
And like women on Low Island, women in Laos say rice will help pay school fees, balance a family's diet and improve their living if market for rice is established for exporting.
Interest from me na one time all Mary, I like him too much. O say me bla interest. Blong look out him all pikinini blong me plan law school. Hangare kisimolem des la project and by helping me plan. Look now we go long all big man blong me plan all same. He can all can help me plan or interest blong me plan all same. Me plan like him one plan machine. So was he can stop long plus blong me plan. And rice na blong me plan interest blong make him more na more by stop all same.
Laos is one of the biggest community groups planting huge rice fields but wants support from the local Manus Provincial government or stakeholders in the rice industry.
WDC one time money ko pass long this community, mi bla by style backside long pandim, this machine must come inside long what blame.
You're watching Tok Piksa. The farming of rice has now moved from the islands of Manus to communities on the mainland, and the struggles of breaking into a new crop are now paying dividends. One local Manus food technologist says rice farmed at this stage can be better supported and processed through downstreaming and help both rural farmers while creating a sustainable economy for the province.
From Low Island, we travel to the coastal Laos community and now a ride up to the Manus Highway, a 30-minute drive out of town to where a community just like Laos but was introduced to rice planting recently. The visit was to strengthen Were farmers in upholding rice at the community level and in the province. There we get to meet and hear the sound of the famous Manus Garamut. Rice was introduced to the Were community through the local primary school. Now the villagers want to extend this project and sustain their communities. Village elders say for the Were community, sago has been the local staple food but not giving them any source of income. The community is also concerned that if sago is somehow threatened by diseases, the community will be severely affected.
Maybe all school that's only concerned. The rest of the community I'm lost. One. So I mean only Bagrabi. So you can bring him this land. Look, Sabe, can you come? You bring back this land. Look, what I'm sponsor. We plan to Sabe 5 years later, 6 years later, when it's something to come up there. So we plan must cut this land. Look, saving life in the future.
Project initiator and model farmer Benjamin Pokarup says, despite uncertainties in the local Manus food chain, farming rice can be a way forward for all communities in the province.
Like Tokolsem, legally work rice, blow Admiralty Island smallholder rice project, and we lure him support, blow UNDP. So far, now me like out him, na me like Tokolsem, me hamamas lo concept, only look sabe. One time start long a lig farmer, now only put him lig money, only call him planning grant, he companies, long set him office.
The awareness and importance of farming organic rice in Manus has almost reached all communities, but only a few are embracing the project at a smaller scale. Post-harvest food technologist John Malai says the initiative to grow organic rice in Manus must be supported.
And as a post-harvest processing technologist, I decide to come home to rural areas so I can try to help the rural farmers to try to get themselves into, to shift their focus from subsistence agriculture to commercial agriculture. And that they may supply some of these ingredients to the food industries and other industries in this country at the moment.
With wealth of experience in the food industry, Mr. Malai said government's recent move to reshape the agriculture sector, such project must be prioritized because it engages farmers in rural communities.
We have a real gap in the industry. The rural farmers must be engaged because they own the land, they own the resources, and let's bring the processing and let's bring the knowledge to their doorstep. And I think we can activate their interest once again. And this is not just the rice. We can do it on almost any agricultural produce in this country. We can process anything.
Malai says this project may seem small, but if it's implemented at a larger scale, many byproducts can be manufactured out of rice.
But here in Manus, technology is already available. It's already at fingertips that we can dry this rice to a world-class standards here. We can develop a lot of other products. We can develop the rice grits, rice powder. We can even go one step further and use a granulation technology. And we can do a puffed up rice for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes cooking rice.
Pokarup says the farming of rice is an untapped industry that needs to be fully supported to address challenges faced in the province.
This unique organic rice project was launched right here, 45 kilometers out of Loringau town, in Bound Village, by the Prime Minister's Department on a joint patrol with the MPA, Manus Provincial Administration, on the 19th and 20th of September 2013. The team includes the officers from the Vision 2050, with the team leader then, Mr. Tony Keket.
He says the pilot project has kicked off on a low level but can be a difference in the lives of Manus people. A big call now is forming alliances with key partners and government agencies to build the capacity of smallholder rice growers to see the full benefits of farming rice.
To date, the farmers are still pursuing persistently with the project, doing training and extension work without formal support in terms of finance to fully enhance its objective. The project is developed in line with the national government's export-driven economic policy with a very strong competitive edge with increased local participation in agro-industry as a working strategy to replace and substitute import.
The cultivation of organic rice in Manus may have a long journey ahead, but it has already showed transformation in communities who have engaged in farming the grain.
The overall aim is to engage into a more sustainable agro-industry that will intentionally build a strong network of rice growers in the province who will grow and process and sell their produce to farmers, to industries, and even to institutions, to individuals, to meet the escalating cultural and the current demand, food demand for rice in the province.
Manus spends about 8 to 12 million kina to import rice for consumption. This trend is set to increase in figures or be totally erased if the local rice industry is given recognition.
And that's all we have for you tonight on Tok Piksa. If you just joined us or missed any part of the show, you can view the full version of tonight's episode or any of our previous ones by visiting MTV online at www.mtv.com.pg. And until we do this again next Sunday, I'm Neville Choi. Good night.